long time ago, I seen this guy who had a bunch of knives for sale. They're all cut really consistently. And talked to him, and it was had the blanks pre-cut. And I talked to local machinists, a couple local machinists. One did, I think one did water or laser, and the other one did mill bit. So we talk about parts, etc. And then, of course, other makers started using pre-cut parts for their stuff. You know, and I thought, wow, you know, it's a good way to stay ahead of the curve if I were to have a bunch of parts laying around and lock channels are already cut. The only thing I had to do was maybe, you know, machine the spine in the center, and that might even I may have well been done with the parts too. And it's a pretty interesting concept. By cutting everything by machine, a person could stack a whole bunch of blanks for a design, make a whole bunch of something. I thought, what if a person gains a myopic view of their design capabilities after they had a whole fandom cheering for them and leaving positive comments and, you know, successful sales, and they you know, they're making something, whether it's on paper or it's on a computer, and they come along and they say, man, I got to do something a little bit different. You know, I got to make my few signature moves here, and so they make something different, and it's not bad. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. But not as prominent as the older stuff. And maybe there's some of the fandom still around with disposable income, float some money to buy one. Maybe some of the purveyors were able to buy it because they got a good name or something. I mean, it would be a real SOB. Back of these parts laying around, and this thing's just a slow mover. Because I wonder how much these parts orders cost. I mean, I used to buy titanium, and you know, the straight stuff isn't cheap. And I have a machinist send me a stack of liners, and they're all cut, ready to be assembled. Everything's drilled, and I'm kind of like going, well, I don't know. Because I don't know if it's if I got a stack of these things, and now it's a slow mover, and I got a couple of my fans that are still going to buy a few, but not enough to move this stack of parts off my lap. I don't know. I mean, stuck eating this thing. And maybe it's a design that's not really that modifiable. If I had a design, I thought, well, maybe I can add this little curve here, this bump here, and I could take a little off here, and maybe it's modifiable. I could try that on, and then from then on out, I can add that feature if the market reacts favorably to it. But I mean, it would be a real bummer to have a whole stack of parts that may or may not be able to be recycled. They're already cut. They're, you know, the holes are added from the machinist. They're already there. I don't know. How would I get around that? I mean, is there a minimum? I mean, if I got like 100 liners sitting there, and and then it's crunch time, and I got to move them out. Just for some reason, there's just something about that design people don't like, and it sits there. And I got my usuals. Maybe they're buying from me because they like me as a person. But that, I mean, does that actually pay the bills? Can I put food on the table with that? I don't know. That's kind of why I prefer to just kind of make it all in front of me, make it all there. I control all of the, the designs. If I were to go unfold these things at a show, maybe a couple don't sell, maybe I can change handles or something. And I got some more control over it. It's like, well, I'll try these two. Everyone loved them. Now, it's all good. But I don't know. It's just kind of floating that idea in my mind. I don't think I'd be really that kind of person that could do precision cut stuff. And not only that, but look at my error. And I'm not going to sit there and say error on their end, but maybe my error. Maybe I picked the wrong hole for the pivot. Maybe I get it back, and maybe the pivot's slightly over, which would really suck because now I can't add material. If it's under, at least I could drill it out and ream it. If it's over, well then now I gotta basically machine a bunch of new pivot pins, which is doable. I have a lathe, but I don't know. Now if I order everything from a vendor, and I order the fasteners, and I order the pivot pins, and I designed everything, I don't know how much of that is, I don't know. I kind of wonder, there's some artists, there's some very prevalent artists and writers that will give a storyline and allow ghost writers to write, or allow ghost artists to even create and do the actual technical aspect, but execute the concept. So, I mean, I don't know. That's why I kind of really don't ever want to see the knife world and the art world together. And that's why there's a huge argument whether the knife world and art world should be kind of merged into one. I just think they're two different crowds. Not to say there isn't art in knives. See some pearl handled deal with gold filigree, and there's several different disciplines being executed on that knife, and maybe even add the dimension of sole authorship, meaning that one maker has all those skills and they've used all those skills to make a knife. They didn't outsource any of the other skills. That's pretty heavy stuff. I mean, that's pretty artistic there. I'd say that's art. So, I don't know, but the whole thing of pre-ordering blanks, I don't know if that's really, for me, a good idea. I mean, I pick a dud, and I have a whole bunch of these things laying around. Then what? What do I do? Maybe in someone like me, it definitely wouldn't work because I don't have the fandom to bail me out of that deal. I don't care if I have fans or don't have fans. And if somebody wants to buy something from me, they're going to pay a lot of money to buy it from me. All right? So, don't worry about the haters. Just let the haters worry about you. See you on the next one.